right, you guys, it's episode 40 of War Stories, and without further ado, you already know I'm gonna get straight to it. I'm going for the hat trick. So check it out, you guys. I'm gonna take you back all the way back to 2019. This one right here is recent. Now, some of you might have remembered an episode a while back. It was an episode of War Stories where I talked about the taqueria and the nachos and horchata. Some of you know what I'm talking about because it's an inside joke. Hey, B, when you gonna go get some more nachos? Hey, B, how about the horchata? What happened to the horchata? So at the time I dropped that episode, I told you guys that I had some other incidents prior to that, but that I just didn't want to talk about it because I didn't want to give nobody no shine. Now, there's another incident beside this one right here that I'm going to tell you guys about in the very near future. This one right here, though, actually, it didn't really initially concern me. I got pulled into it later. You guys will understand when I get into this story right here. So let me just say this. So in 2019, I was still in fairly close contact with several people that I knew from back in 2004, homeboys that I used to work with out there on the streets when I was functioning in the San Jose regiment. Some good homeboys. You know, a lot of us that had went through some of the same experiences, we kept in contact with each other, and we still occasionally check up on each other to see how we're doing, you know, to make sure that we're all still on the good foot, that we're still doing the right thing, that none of us are backsliding and getting back into some of the old habits that put us in the situation that we were in before. You know, a few cats that I stay in touch with, they've settled down, they got families now. A couple of them had a couple of kids. Some of them went back to school. Some of them opened up businesses. They're far away from that lifestyle that they were once leading. Some of them are a lot younger than me, and to be honest with you guys, you know, there's a couple of them I'm proud of them because I didn't think that they were gonna make it too long because that they were still young, and I still thought that they had that in their blood still, but they even proved me wrong. They went out there, they got legitimate jobs, and they're doing good. They never looked back, and that's a good thing. So I've stayed in touch with them. I've maintained contact with them. Now, at one point in time, you know, we were hooking up every so often, and you know, at some point, we would go out to San Jose. We'd hit some of the nightclubs out there. We'd hit some different nightclubs throughout the Bay Area. You know, not to go out and to get in trouble, but just to go out and have a good time. That was the whole purpose of it. We get together, and you know, sometimes we get together with our families, with the kids or whatever, and just go out and have a good time. That's what it was. But then there was other occasions where we would just hook up, and you know, there was a couple times where, you know, we went to a park, a major park out there in San Jose, and we all drank and we partied. And on one of those occasions, I believe it was one of the homies' kids' birthdays. And on another occasion, it was just a party. Now, I'm going to say this, and I'm not saying this to throw any shade at anybody that's active, but, you know, on a couple of these occasions, when we went out to some of these parks out there, to San Jose in particular, we had a huge turnout. There was a lot of homeboys that showed up that day. And me, myself, personally, I wasn't too fond of the idea of going out to some of these spots and putting ourselves out there and being in those different areas where, you know, a lot of cats that were still active, they still went to some of those areas. And it wasn't because, you know, I was scared of running into cats. I run into them all the time. And like I said, very few cats really give a fuck about the politics when they're out here on the streets, especially cats that knew you and were around you before when you were active. They knew you were a real one. You're still a real one, regardless of what happened in the long run, still, cats still had their respect. And I don't care what anybody says. You can talk to your blue in the face. I know. I've been there, done that, have been around active cats, ran into them, and 9 times out of 10, most of them act the same way. What's up, homie? Nothing but love. I ain't tripping off none of that. You know what I'm saying? So a couple of these times on these occasions when we went to these big parks, there was probably like 30, maybe 40 of us that turned out. And a lot of those guys were guys that were no longer active. They were no longer they were no longer on the home team, straight up. But they still had a lot of respect and a lot of love for the homies. You just never lose that. It's just the politics ended up swallowing them up or getting them caught up, and that's what it is. But still, when it comes to their hoods, a lot of the homies still have love for them that were from their neighborhoods, that grew up with them, you know, because they went to prison, got caught up with some shit, or, you know, because they were on the streets functioning and got caught up in the street politics, in the regiments and all that shit. It still didn't stop the homies from respecting them and, you know, having a lot of love and respect for them. So, you know, my point is so on this one occasion, we went out to this one park. And like I said, there was like 30 of us. At the end of the day, there ended up being about 60 of us out there. 30 of us that, you know, were there initially in the same situation. And then about 30 active homies, straight up. These were cats that were just driving by or knew from somebody that there was a function that was going on that day, and they showed up. And they didn't show up with bad intentions. You know, it was basically like they pulled up, opened up their chairs, kicked back, popped open a beer and was like, hey, bro, I don't give a fuck about that. You know what I'm saying? Because 9 times out of 10, you know, most motherfuckers in that situation would have done the same thing. Shit, I probably would have done the same thing my damn self. And I'm just keeping it 100. Homies don't like to admit it, but it is what it is, man. And I'm not saying that it's cool to do that. I'm not encouraging it. I'm not saying that dropping out, walking away, none of that shit's cool. I've never said that. You guys can watch every fucking episode I've ever done, and I'll tell you straight up that you can't pretty that up. It's bad business. The homies that end up on bad terms still wish that they could be a part of that because this was their family. And if you're a real one and you really felt that fire in your heart and you really believed in that, you can't turn that off. That's not something you can turn off. Anyway, there was 2 occasions where situations did happen out there where, you know, there was some cats that, and when they get thick, you know, that's when some cats they'll get brave, they'll get courageous because, you know, they got the numbers and they'll try to run up. Now, I'm going to talk about one of those situations right now. I'll tell you about the other one. The other one was more directly dealing with me, but this one, I got pulled into it later. So you guys will understand. So anyway, I'm not going to mention the homies that were involved in this because I talk to them to this day. I pick up the phone during the holidays or just on occasion, and I'll call them up and what's up, boy? What you doing, man? How's the fan band, bro? You know what I'm saying? Everything straight. You staying out of trouble, still working. Cool, bro. You know what I mean? Keep doing what you do, man. You know, life's too short, bro. Don't ever end up putting yourself in a situation where you're gonna get caught up, man. It's just a way of keeping that positivity amongst all of us, man. Anyway, so on one occasion, you know, there was some homies that there was like a crew of them that went through similar situation that I did when those cases played out in San Jose, and you know, they were still in that general area of San Jose out there. In San Jose or in some of the surrounding areas, but they still frequenting a lot of the different, you know, the spots out there, the clubs, the bars, the restaurants, the malls, the parks, the lakes, whatever. So there was one night when I was living in close proximity to a couple of homies that I was staying in constant contact with, still am to this day. But they had went to a nightclub one night. And I remember, I'm not going to say even where he's from because there's probably a lot of people that will be able to definitely by process of elimination, they'll figure him out. And he just doesn't want to be mentioned. And I respect that. So the homie goes to a club and, he's kicking it. He's just chilling at the club there was four other individuals that was kicking it with him at the club that night. Now, these guys, some of them were still good. They're still active. They just don't care. These are the kind of guys that are like, man, look, my name's still good, but I'm not into the politics. I just work. But I left the joint on good standings, and but any of that stuff, I've been knowing you for years. So I don't give a fuck, man. I still got love and respect for you. So they had a crew of cats that they still kicked it with. Now there was two cats that were Samoans. These cats were brothers. Both of these cats were big boys. I'm talking about not just big, as Samoan big, but these fools had their yokes on. One of them had fucking legs like tree trunks, man. Big ass cat. But they were bruisers, man, straight bruisers. And when the homies thumped, if it ever came down to it, they was right there, man. So, they worked together, so they had that relationship. Anyway, I get a call one night. The homie's like, hey, bro, check it out. I'm over here. Whoa, whoa, whoa. There's some cats, bro, that, I'm just picking up some bad vibes on me. Can you swing through? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm there, bro. I'll be there in 10 minutes. The spot was literally close to the pad. Now, there was a couple other homies that were close as well. So I call up one of the other homies and like, hey, bro, you need to slide through. Homie just called me and I, he's having a situation, or at least he thinks he is. There's some cats over there that I know he's picking up some bad vibes from, bro. I'm about to shoot down there right now. If you can slide through, he's like, I'll be there, bro. Don't even trip. So, that's the kind of relationship that we had. We all still kind of there for each other. If shit cracks off like that, without a doubt, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, so I get there. It's a club, and the club, it's lit, man. There's a lot of people up in there, and everybody's drinking, and everybody's kind of spread out. The two Usos that I talked about, they're there. I see them. I know them. I go up to them. I greet them. I go over to the homie, and he basically he lets me know what's up. He points out some individuals that are by the bar, and he's telling me, hey, bro, ever since we got up in there, man, I locked eyes with this fool, and this fool keeps looking at me, bro. So it's like I'm picking up some type of vibe from this dude. And I told the homies, and they're like, nah, bro, you're just tripping. You know what I mean? Because I'll be honest with you, and I'm gonna be straight up. The cat that was saying that is and this is with all due respect, he's lightweight schizophrenic. Always stressed out about something, always thinking that he's seeing something. So, the homies kind of laugh at him, bro. Come on, man, you tripping, bro. Stop that, man. You know what I mean? I'm in the county jail with him when we're fighting cases, and this boy stays stressed out, bro. But you think this, you think that, bro. But what about the homeboy? Relax, bro. You're gonna be all right, man. But anyway, so I peep out the cats that he was tripping on, and they're like 6 deep. They're 6 deep. They're at the bar, and they're drinking, but they look like homies. They look like cats that are. I mean, they look like just some regular homies out there, not some low riding motherfuckers that been to the joint that that are out there functioning in the regiment, but they still look like some little riders, man, straight up. So I'm like, bro, don't even trip. Just let's just kick it, bro. Let's just enjoy the rest of the night. And when we're done, we'll all go home, bro. But as of right now, we're all here together. So then the other homies get there. Whoop, they all come in and now we're like 9 deep now. These cats are like 6 deep, but there's like 9 of us. And again, I'm not trying to sound tough, but all 9 of us are bangers, man. We've all been around, and everybody that was there, including the two Usos, were bangers. We've been in shit before. These are cats that have functioned in the regiments. These are cats that have been to the shoe programs, that have been around. So these ain't just no weenie ass cats, man. These cats, all of them have been known to thump when it comes time to get down, man. So anyway, we're kicking it and we're all kind of spread out, after we get there. And I even tell the homie, chill out, bro. You're good, man. Just post up right here. And, there was a couple other homies that were kicking it with them. And so I smash off. I go over there to kick it with the homie that, another homie that I'm real close with. And, I go over there and I'm chilling with him, and the two Usos are there, and, they're shooting pool and they're just chilling, man. Meanwhile, I'm still keeping an eye on these cats by the bar. I'm watching them, and, they don't seem like they're tripping. They're just drinking. Anyway, at some point later on during the night, by now everybody's full of liquor. You know what I mean? I even started drinking myself that night. I usually don't drink hard liquor, but when I go to a club or something like that, motherfuckers don't never have malt liquor. They always have like fucking Heineken or Budweiser or Coors, and that shit don't do nothing for me. So, when I go to a club or something, I'll drink kamikazes, double or triple kamikazes, top shelf, some of the best top shelf liquor that you can get. So, I probably slammed like 3 or 4 kamikazes, and I'm feeling it. I got a head change. I'm cool though, man. You know what I mean? Anyway, at some point, I see these cats by the bar. It seemed like they started moving around. At one point, they were all at the bar, but then they started moving around, and they're in groups of 2s. So, I don't know what they're doing. I didn't know if it was some they were strategically trying to, move around in different areas in the club, or if they were just spreading out, but they had dispersed. So, I was kicking it with the homie. Like I said, the other homie that initially called me is like at the table with some youngsters, and they're on the other side. But something tells me to go over there where the homie's at. Schizophrenic ass motherfucker, man. So I take the youngster that I'm real tight with, straight little rider, man, straight up. And we go over there to where he's at, and I see the main cat that he pointed out, and he crept up on him. And before I could even react, this cat just fucking bashed on him. So I mean, he did see something. He seen something about these cats, and he was right, because this dude and his boy crept on the homie, knocked him smooth the fuck out. I'm talking about when he hit the homie, he hit him with one of them good ones. He connected where, when you see somebody connect like that and they go flying, he's sleeping, man. Homeboy was out. I'm talking about he hit the deck and went sliding up under the bar, man. But what he didn't know is, what a lot of them cats didn't know, is that there was a bunch of us in there, but we were all spread out. Now the two Usos, the two Usos are right there. they sure didn't know that the Usos were with the homies because they're Samoans. But the two Usos, they go straight into effect, man. The cat that knocked out the homie, the Uso knocks this cat out. I'm talking about this motherfucker went to sleep right next to the homie. Out, gone, man. No. Sleepy go night night. Homeboy was out. Anyway, as soon as that happened, his boys rushed over there and tried to rush the two Usos, and that's when we all start fighting. You already know it's coming. Here we go. Glass breaking, bottles flying, tables flying, motherfucking chairs were flying up in there, man. We tore that motherfucker up, man. I bullshit you not. There was 9 of us and there was 6 of them. Them cats got beat the fuck down. We stomped them the fuck out. All 6 of them, man. At some point, after, well, let me give you guys I got to give you a little bit more of this, man, because there was a whole lot more of this. So when it was all over, straight up, man, there was 3 of them cats that were on the ground sleeping. And when I say sleep, literally the first one that got knocked out, he was all the way asleep. When you see a motherfucker, when he does this, Jordan bottoms up and like just locked up, he was the only one that was knocked out like that. There was 2 other cats that were down. They weren't sleeping, but they were fucked up. We stomped him out, man. We stomped him out. We had to pick up the homie, carry him out to the car, and we all smashed out. We tore that bar up, man. That bar was fucked up. I'm talking about the homies were behind the bar fighting. Other people that were there were running out the front. We all the tables that were in there, all the tables were knocked down. We knocked all the fucking tables down. There was glass, food, chips, everywhere. I'm talking about it was a full out motherfucking brawl. And I'm gonna tell you guys like this, man. I'm gonna keep it real with you. These guys weren't bangers, but these motherfuckers were these cats were in there doing their thing. We didn't just go in there and just smash them. They gave it back too. There was a couple homies that got busted up. One of the homies got hit in the head with the bottle, bust his head, needed stitches. There was another youngster ended up getting a tooth knocked out. So but they got it the worst, man. I'm telling you, all 9 of us swarmed on these dudes, and we had them at one point. Just they was getting lit up from all sides. We was knocking them back and forth between. They were like, it was like a pinball machine, but there was 6 of them getting tossed up at the same time. I'm telling you guys, man, I can't emphasize enough though about these 2 Usos. These motherfuckers, when I say bruisers, I mean bruisers. These guys were thumpers, man. They probably did the most damage than anybody. These dudes were big dudes. They hit hard as fuck, and they were just some big, young, strong motherfuckers, man. And to this day, still in contact with them. There's some good ass dudes. These dudes don't give a fuck about no politics. They're just some good ass cats that they got kids, and they work with the homies, and because they have that relationship, they love them like brothers, and they got their fucking backs to the fullest. Me myself, I wasn't the type that after getting out of this last situation that I was in that, was really into going to clubs and going and partying and going to these festivities and shit like that, these functions. That right there wasn't my thing, because I always looked at it as like, these are bad situations that we put ourselves in for, things like this right here to happen. And, the only reason why I even went to this club was because the homie asked me to come out there, and he got it like that. Anytime one of those cats called me for something, it's like we got we got that type of lifetime bond that that will just, it'll be like that until the casket drops, straight up. But you know, they're a little bit younger than me, so they're always in those type of environments. And that's probably, out of everything that they're doing, that's probably the only thing, the only wrong move that they're making out there. You know, if I was ever gonna, you know, criticize them, but they're working, they ain't fucking with no drugs, they're being positive, but you know, they put themselves in these situations. However, you know, after talking to them, it's like, bro, you know, hey, we're not gonna be out here, you know, hiding up under no fucking rocks. We're gonna, you know, we're not looking for no problems. We just trying to have a good time and just trying to live, man. We work, bust our asses. After work, motherfucker just want to have a drink. Sometimes, man, just take our ladies to a spot, have a nice dinner. That's all it is, man. You know what I'm saying? So I get it, man. But you know, again, going to places like that, you know, putting yourself in situations where you're more likely to run into somebody, those types of things are always going to happen. But, you know, that situation right there, like I said, didn't initially concern me. I got pulled into it because of the homie. You know, the homie called me and it was what it was, man. Now, you know, the reason why I didn't talk about this a long time ago was because, like I said, man, before doing war stories, before I started doing these series, man, you know, I really didn't want to even talk about that kind of stuff, bring it up, or give anybody any shine. It was just like something that it's something that I got to deal with. I'll deal with it for the rest of my life. Other homies are dealing with the same thing because of things that have happened, and it is what it is. But you know, I told you guys about the situation that happened at the taqueria, and you know, I had one other situation that I'm going to tell you guys about, and you know, that one was directly involved me from the gate, and I was by myself in that situation. So I'll tell you guys about that in another future upcoming episode of War Stories. Anyways, I just wanted to drop that one tonight. I'm gonna try to get maybe one more out for you guys tonight and see if I could do the hat trick. Oh shit, I'm already over 3. Anyways, with that said, this episode 40, this your boy B, and I'm out.